The SaCrEd LiGhT Community Nightcap. Fresh new episode coming up this Thursday on the 23rd, 8 p.m. Eastern, live. Instagram, SaCrEd LiGhT 33, YouTube, SaCrEd LiGhT Healing and Wellness, 7 Chakras, SaCrEd guest, Sesily, Magical Willow. Join us. See you then.
My third eye's open, I can see past the commotion. I can't get lost in a moment. Yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah. My third eye open, I can see past the commotion. Yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah. I'm guaranteed to check like TSA. One in a million like a...
Hello. Grand day, everybody, and welcome to another SaCrEd LiGhT Community Nightcap. I am your host, Marcus Crystallite of SaCrEd LiGhT Healing and Wellness. And before we even step any further, I'd like to break us open with a little bit of a drum and some breathing to ground us in as we continue into this space tonight. So if you may, join me. You can sit, you can lay, just allow yourself to get cozy and just allow yourself to relax. Relax your shoulders, your back, and allow yourself just to receive and flow with the breath for a moment. Breathe through the nose and draw that breath down the body and anchor it to the earth. And then draw that breath back up the body and exhale out of the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. Exhaling out of the mouth. Breathing in. Just continue to stay with that breath on your own. Just letting go of any expectations, letting go of any obligations outside this present space. Just bringing it to the present, feeling the connection, the unconditional love, the amazing beauty and creativity, the blessing of being able to be here and share such a wonderful space tonight. And I'd just like to thank each and every one of you, thank our guides, ancestors, all beings for making this happen tonight. And everybody enjoy yourself, get comfortable, grab your tea, your snacks, crystals, sage, whatever it is you like, and enjoy as we flow through the 7 chakras. And our SaCrEd guest tonight, Sesily of Magical Willow, local in Kentucky. She will be joining us to talk about the chakras as well. And she will also be doing a sound healing journey for us live tonight. So you guys enjoy. And if you guys have any comments, feel free to comment, whether you're live on YouTube or Instagram. And we also do live Q&As in these spaces as well. So if you have any questions regarding the chakras, any questions surrounding your imbalances or any blockages that you may have patterns of, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I'm sure we'll answer to the best of our abilities for you. All right. So with that being said, we will go ahead and welcome our sacred guest in the nightcap tonight, Sesily of Magical Willow. Welcome on. Good to see you.
Hello, it's good to see you too. I'm excited to be here. Like Marcus said, I'm Sesily of Magical Willow, and I love to create, which is what started me with the creation of Magical Willow. But I also am very passionate about energy healing and the effects it can have on our lives. And my form of energy healing is crystal, Reiki, and sound healing. So I look forward to focusing on the chakras, as that's my in-depth way of healing through sound. And I focus specifically on the chakras and alignment with intention every time I play, whether I'm using my crystal bowls or my singing pyramids or my solfeggio tuning forks. It's all about that alignment for me and doing it with intention. So yeah, I'm excited to journey with you all.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here with us. I know you mentioned the solfeggio. Did you want to talk about the solfeggios a little bit before we move into the chakras?
We can. So I have a frequency, a solfeggio tuning fork frequency for each chakra. And I also have the two additional ones. And let me see real quick. Those two are for your soul purpose. And yeah, so the soul purpose. And then we look at what I like to do. And that's what I'm actually super excited that you asked me to talk about it. Because when I play the tuning forks, I play different combination frequencies. And I talked to you a little bit about that. But I use like mathematics when I play. And so I use what is called vortex math when I'm playing my tuning forks, specifically the solfeggio tuning forks. And that's playing with numbers 3, 6, and 9. So for me, 3 creates, 6 harmonizes and balances, and 9 amplifies and then returns it to universal source. So those combinations of 3, 6, 9, that's what our solfeggio tuning forks are. So when you add up those digits, you get 3, 6, or 9. And I play the different combinations. For example, we have 3. You take each tuning fork that has the same numbers. So 7 for 741 hertz, and then 417 hertz, and then 174. And so when you add those up, you get 3 at what it boils down to. And then so these are all harmonizing, and I like to play those together. So I'll play those at the very end of my journey after I align with the bowls first.
Thank you for going to that. I love tuning forks. They are just like such a very efficient and like rapid way to bring energy vibrations to your field. And the way that the forks move them are just so quickly.
Yes, and you can feel whenever I'm doing sound journeys, I always use my tuning forks towards the end. It's just I have a certain way I like to do things, and that's one of the ways. But I use those at the end, and I do it in that pattern. But when I bring the tuning forks close to people's energetic fields, the closer I get, then you can hear and I can feel it absorbing the different frequencies that they need within that area. And sometimes it'll like just you'll just hear it. It's like that sound is gone, and it's because they needed that. So then I can play that different frequency for them again, and it just helps to harmonize
Mm.
that.
Wow. Yeah, that's very powerful. Wow. With that being said, are you ready to journey into the 7 chakras?
Yes.
All right. So we'll move into the 7 chakras, and we will go into the root chakra to begin. And for everybody out there is no right or wrong to, which way is the top or the bottom to you or where you start. It really just depends. Like, if you're trying to go by, um, human earth foundation as the first, then you're going to typically want to go with the root chakra then. But if you're kind of going with like the heavens being the first and then, the earth being like the bottom, then you go through the crown. But we'll start with the root chakra for this one. And the root chakra is located at the base of the spine. And before we go even further, actually, I just want to clarify and go over the knowledge of what a chakra is. So, chakra in Sanskrit is wheel of energy or wheel of light. And I'm sure there's other translations as well. And what I've been able to develop and come across from a multi-dimensional perspective is that our energy body or our light body is almost like um, it's almost like a blueprint system with these gateways or portals, so to say, that we call chakras and meridians. And through that energy light body system, they connect us in our physical human life to our emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects. So that's what I've kind of developed and came across through many different studies and self practices. So with that, each chakra has basically like a vibrational octave or a dimension to it that it connects you to. And then the location depends upon the vibration rate of the chakra. So the root chakra is at the base of the spine or also the genital area. And then it is known as the foundational ground chakra. And the mantra is LAM, LAM. So each of the 7 chakras have mantras. Mantras are basically vocalizations of that octave or that frequency of that energy center. And then through that vocalization, it then recalibrates and reattunes that energy center to that frequency. So traits, and there can be different hertz frequencies that you can see depending upon the way that they're formatting it. In the solfeggio, the root chakra is related to the 396 hertz. And then the color is red. And then some of the traits of the root chakra is that this is where we store anger, energies of resentment, fear, and pain. Along with that, it is also the energy center of our groundedness and our stability. And this groundedness and stability kind of trickles into your emotional stability, your neurological stability, your ability to feel connected to the human life and have a purpose and a sense of self here. And also the ability to kind of have like inner peace, having contentment, not feeling like you need to overwork yourself or that you're lacking or scarce, but just you're here, you're meant to be here, you feel your purpose, and you know that, whatever choice you make, whatever you do, you're still going to move in your purpose. You're still going to be connected to a divine reason. So then it also connects you with abundance, career, and finances. So abundance, energetically or metaphysically, is kind of like your connection to the earth. And when you're grounded through your root chakra, that energy cord that we talk about, that kind of flows down the middle of your chakras, it's able to go through that root chakra and ground into the earth and also the soles of our feet, which is why we earth with our feet. So when these energy cords go into the earth, they kind of ground into it. I like to think of it like roots of a tree going into the earth. And then energetically, it's connecting you to the abundance of the earth. But when we're not grounded, we feel disconnected from that abundance, and then we feel scarce and we feel like we lack, and we go through these imbalanced emotions and mindsets. Trust is a big thing when it comes to that as well. And then lastly, it is also where our fight or flight takes place. So if we're feeling, damaged or blocked up in that root chakra, it's going to be very hard for us not to be in a fight or flight tendency, which could also be like defensiveness and just not being able to have that control of your impulse. And then as we move into overactivations, we have being lethargic or abrasive, being edgy and having a lack of patience, being on overdrive, and having workaholic tendencies. Very easy things to happen in this human life. And just remember as well, everybody out there, that there's no right or wrong or good or bad to this, really. It's just all energy and different energy forms and just different experiences that we go through. And to be honest, we all go through just about every single one of these at some point in our life. So then we have blockages. So you can be overactive and you can be blocked and you can be balanced. And blockages, easily defensive, being scattered and emotionally unstable, having past pains overtaking your present. So that's a tough one when you can't be present with the love that's present in your life in any type of form or even with yourself due to how severe the pain is that is being stored within your being. So then we have money and career issues, and then disassociation from your human life, and then a wild nervous system. And then lastly, and then we'll hand it over to Sesily because she was going to add some more to each chakra as well. I got you guys some foods and herbs that you can use for the root chakra. And it's going to be basically like any of your ground root vegetables, like beets, potatoes, carrots, then onions and garlic. Then you have beans and nut butters, then ashwagandha, clove, paprika, and rosemary. And then Sesily, if you want to add anything for the root chakra, I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, I wanted to add a little bit about each chakra as we go. And I'll be referring to information that I've learned from the chakras and their archetypes. And this is Uniting Energy Awareness and Spiritual Growth. And that's by Ambika Waters. But focusing on the root chakra, for, like he said, when it's either unbalanced or balanced, that can vibrate within our lives and our frequencies in certain ways. And being in the negative aspect of that, or the negative archetype, that's someone who's going to be embodying fear, insecurity, and a sense of being powerless or unsupportive. And this may have us feeling that we're always at the mercy of the external circumstances and unable to ground ourselves or create stability in our lives. And that was something that I really struggled with in the past. And like Marcus said, being in that present moment was very hard for me. And identifying that and then being able to make the choice and being aware of how I can change this in my life was a major shift in my spiritual growth. But the victim is the negative mindset, the negative archetype. And then there can be the mother in that as the positive form. And that's nurturing yourself, grounding yourself, and being connected to the stability that the earth provides us. And that also relates to the aspect of the earth keeper, stable, feeling deeply connected to nature, strong and nurturing, and being able to sustain others while also protecting and honoring the planet. So that would be our positive archetype. And that's all I wanted to share for the root.
That was amazing info. That's not like very common info you hear about the chakras. So it's really cool to share it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love it. It really connects it all for me, with managing our mental, physical, and spiritual, and working on alignment and identifying those areas within our lives that are unbalanced and relating that to the chakras.
Yeah. Now, I know that you were coming across some other different hertz frequencies for these chakras. Was there a different one that you have for the root chakra?
No, the one that I have for the root is the 396 hertz, and I have that tuning fork here. I could play each tuning fork for you if you want. Whatever you do.
That'd be cool. Up to you.
So, I was gonna play. Let me find my Oh, there. It's with the weighted tuning forks over here.
Welcome in, Sister Kaya on Instagram.
Okay, so this is that 396 hertz. And then I have the chakra bowl for that frequency as well. Now they're tuned differently. The bowls are tuned to 432 hertz, and then each chakra is resonant with a certain note. So for the root, I have the C note. And that C note, you'll notice, is at a deeper frequency in comparison to as you go up and get to that higher.
Yeah, because so on my live the other day, I pulled up an image, and I was talking about sound healing. Oh, this was last Thursday. And the image had the wavelengths of each chakra on it. And it's so cool because like it basically just depicts the wavelength of what you were describing. So like the root chakra with how dense it is, because the frequency is a little bit slower down, so to say, then the wavelengths are a little bit larger, and there's not as many wavelengths due to the density of the vibration. And you can just see that, the higher the chakras, the more wavelengths there were due to the rate of speed picking up on the frequency. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I when I'm reading chakra energy, I use a pendulum, and as I'm reading the chakras, sometimes you can even see that within how the energy is flowing. You can see the slower
Mhm.
movement at the root, and then it increased as it goes up. A lot of times the third eye, it will go very fast.
What the heck? All right. So we'll continue and make our way up to the sacral. Well, actually, before we go there, I got some crystals for you guys for the root chakra. We have onyx, hematite, black tourmaline, jet, garnet, carnelian, red jasper, and obsidian. Do you have any other root chakra crystals you want to share?
Let's see. Did you put smoky quartz?
I did not.
That's
I
one
love
that
smoky.
I had listed.
I'm actually wearing one right now on my necklace
Really?
with a moldavite.
Let me check on my cat.
Moldavite and smoky quartz. All right, so we will continue to the sacral. And the sacral is located right below the navel. The navel is the belly button. That's why the navel is also orange navel. The correlation, synchronicities in life. Navel oranges. The sacral is orange and is located right below the navel. And that's also a hint to you guys in the future about the type of food that you can eat for the sacral. And the mantra is VAM with a V. So VAM. So just like how a lot of people know about the Om People do the Om a lot. Om is a mantra, and Vam is the same way. So the way that you've been taught to do a Om is the way that you would also do the Vam, except you just do VAM. And the traits, 417 hertz. And then we have the color orange. And then it is a center that connects us to our sexual life force energy, which is also our feminine and creative energy. Along with that is also our main center, where we have sensuality and pleasure. Sensuality, in its original form of meaning, is your ability to feel your senses, to feel your emotions, to have a connection to the outside world and feel it. That is your sensuality. The more deep you have sensuality with life, the more you can feel like that infinite bliss of being present and having the opportunity to be a co-creator and to feel emotions and feel the contrast of life and be able to feel joy and to feel happiness and to feel others be happy and things of that nature. That's your sensuality. And this is also our main center of the inner child as well. So, with that type of energy, it's where you have that innocent playfulness, that curious nature of wanting to, have relationships, try to understand the world, to try to develop things and build and connect with others. So, with this being connected to the sexual life force energy, it comes with quite a bit of responsibility of, boundaries and understanding what's truly best for you and where you're putting your energy. And it's not just about sexual energy, it's also your creative energy, it's your vitality, it's the energy that allows you to feel like you can make it through the day. You can put energy into your projects or your business. So then we'll move over into overactivations, and we have leaking of sexual energy. So, leaking of sexual energy is when, for instance, you're kind of, and you can attract this as well, it can be vice versa, but it's kind of like when, you're just constantly, sexualizing people, or you're kind of perverting others, or kind of putting yourself on the others sexually in ways that are just very uncomfortable and just unnecessary. That's being overactive in your sacral. Then we have overtly affectionate to unhealthy outlets. So this can be an example of, constantly giving this kind of energy to outlets that could be completely misusing you, abusing your energy, and whatever else could be going on. And then we have extreme immaturity. So extreme immaturity is just, for instance, when, you know, you're in a certain environment, you're around certain people, and there's just a level of respect, of just maturity, and just not sexualizing people or things of that nature. Especially if, say, you're in a retreat environment or an environment where people are going through deep healing and you can't be mature, that immaturity, especially sexually, can be very traumatizing or re-triggering for people. So there comes boundaries. So then we have blockages in the sacral. And this could happen due to sexual trauma, emotional wounds, having no passion, creative blocks can develop, being afraid of intimacy, struggling to have fun, and I can't see the last one. Let me switch up the view here.
Fear of
Oh,
being
yeah, I gotta say that one for sure. Fear of being seen. Yeah. So then foods and herbs. We have oranges, mangoes, peaches, sweet potatoes, carrots, and apricots. Then we have flax, walnut, almond, sesame, coconut, and cinnamon. And then Cecily, I will hand it back to you again.
okay. My cat is crawling in front of the camera. That is Willow. So come on.
Willow.
Come on. Well, let's
She's like,
see.
they can hear you.
She's like, I want to be on the show. Here you go. You okay? It's kind of a tight fit. Okay. So let me get back in my pyramid. We have the sacral chakra, and we're talking about the different archetypes for that chakra. So if we are unbalanced and we're living in that negative archetype for the sacral chakra, that would be the martyr. So the martyr archetype is going to be someone who sacrifices their own emotional needs and desires for others. And this is often at the cost of their own well being and their creative energy, like you mentioned. So this leads to feelings of resentment and emotional stagnation. And also, when we're vibrating in that mindset and frequency, we're unable to channel our creativity and our sexuality in a positive light. And when we're able to work through this and come out of that archetype, we would step more into the emperor or empress archetype, where we're able to work well with others and to be true to ourselves and our sexuality and how we want to express ourselves in a positive way. And when that happens, it allows us to channel that creative energy to uncharted territories, because it's just overflowing in a positive way. Yeah. So the creative archetype too is going to be able to be innovative, inspired, and free-flowing. So that emperor, empress, creative is where we would like to be within that chakra. Did you want me to play the frequency for it?
And did you want to share the yeah, to say if you wanted to, you could do the tuning fork and bowl.
Yeah.
I think it's a
So,
pretty good rhythm right there to do the education and then that.
yeah. So we have here is 417. So we have the 417 solfeggio, and then our sacral chakra bowl.
Sound healing is so amazing.
I love it.
All right. So we will continue. Wow, I feel so much like softer after that.
Hmm.
So so sacral crystals, and of course there's definitely like more out there for you guys as well. These are just some of them. Um Pyrite, tiger's eye, orange calcite, unakite, moonstone, citrine, sunstone, snowflake, obsidian. Gosh, I really love some of those.
I love the tiger's eye. It's my favorite for that one.
Oh gosh. Tiger's eye. And there's so many kinds. All right, guys. So we will continue upwards to our solar plexus. And the solar plexus is located in the abdomen.
I
And
didn't even do that intentionally, Marcus.
that was great.
It
The
was the
flow.
solar plexus.
And the mantra is Ram. And traits 528 hertz. It's probably like one of the most popular frequencies right now that people talk about, 528. And that's good for regeneration and upliftment. And the color is yellow. And you guys will notice that this scale of color is parallel to the rainbow as well, which is why in Buddhist practices they call the energy body the rainbow body, because it radiates the rainbow when the chakras are fully activated and clear. So chakras also govern different physical body parts. Solar plexus is the stomach, liver, and gallbladder. The sacral is going to be the womb, any of the female area parts, and the ovary type of areas. Along with that, the bladder. So, stomach, liver, and gallbladder is the solar plexus. So this is also tied into, your gut health or your second brain, that stomach area. So pretty important chemicals are connected to that solar plexus chakra. So then it is manifested traits such as willpower and inner strength. So it's your ability to move forward, to overcome your experiences, and to be able to take action in your life and make change, to be able to move out of those programs and limitations that we pose on ourselves. Along with that, also having that natural confidence and self esteem to do so. And it's not the confidence that we have to think about, it's not the confidence that we have to try to force. It's that secure feeling of just really knowing that you're capable and just putting forward the action. And along with that, it's also not that type of way of needing to feel like you need to prove yourself or prove your worth or that you need to attach your worth to the world. And then it's also connected to your gut instinct, with it being connected to your stomach. And then this is where we develop the ego. So the ego, in very bland human terms, is your human being. It's your human self. It's your characteristics that help you identify with the world and have a relationship with the world and have some type of character in this human life. So, that's the ego. And the ego isn't just good, it's not just bad. It's however, it's shown and trained through its experiences what life is. The ego doesn't really know better. It's the animalistic self, basically. And then we have our higher self, which is like our soul self, the very intelligent and, very wise self that is knowing of itself and the world and its connection to the source. And with that, we have that complex of mind, body, soul. Therefore, we have ego with this human vessel. So with that ego, the ego can be kind of like on our side and it can be not on our side. And it kind of like depends upon how you're developing your ego and the way that you're programming yourself and allowing yourself to be programmed. So then it also is our center of self-control and decision making. So then we have overactivations, we have being egotistical or full of yourself. And what that means is basically going so far into the delusion of separation to where, you know, you believe that you're above everybody else or that, you know, you're the only worthy person of love or respect or anything like that. Doing whatever you can to basically kind of overstep others and step on people's toes to get to the top, that type of energy. Being demanding of others, being possessive, overly competitive, and ambitious. So, key word there is overly. There's healthy competition, there's healthy ambition, and you see that in a lot of sports and also different things. And Sesily, I'm sure, knows this in martial arts as well. There's healthy competition and healthy ambition. But when we get overly competition, overly ambitious, that's when we can kind of fuel the wrong wolf a little bit. So, blockages, we have judging and criticizing. That could be yourself or others, having low self esteem, loss of will to live, digestive and diabetes issues, quitting quickly. So, when it says quitting quickly, this is like when you're not able to finish your projects or you start something and then you can't, you're incapable of finishing, or you also don't fulfill, the promises that you make or the obligations that you have. And then we have identifying with the world. And identifying with the world can really do a number. It can really do a number on us, especially when it comes to our psychological state as well as our emotional state of the way that we identify with ourselves. And with that, we can feel really lost of who we are, if we're worthy of being loved, if we're not doing something for the world or if we're not pleasing others, then there's something wrong with us. Um, yeah, so then that can also develop into being dependent of your self-worth. And this is when you have to ask everybody constantly, about your self-worth. And yeah, it's tough. It definitely hits to talk about. But then we have foods and herbs that you can use. And you can use lemon, banana, pineapple, and squash. Then you have sunflower, dandelion, and quinoa. And then ginger, turmeric, mint, and lemon balm. And then I'll hand it over to Sesily again.
All right. So for our solar plexus chakra, if we are in that negative state, we're in the servant archetype. And this archetype is, in its negative form, overly self sacrificing, subservient, and lacks personal power. And honestly, this is one of my chakras that I really have to still work on, like to this day. I struggled with this a lot before as well, but it's one of the ones that I still find myself spending time on. And I feel like I had always had all these great ideas and creative things I wanted to do, but to assert them and bring them into reality, I needed to have the willpower to do it and to not focus on people pleasing and asserting my own desires and needs. So I was in that servant archetype and shifting into the warrior archetype, which is one of the most powerful archetypes. You're empowered and focused and disciplined, and not too much, right? Like you said, it has to be balanced, but you're in that positive warrior mindset, and you're able to have the drive to achieve your goals, defend your own values, and assert personal power in a healthy and balanced way. And I also was going to tell you there are different affirmations you can say for each chakra to help shift that energy. And I would add for the solar plexus, one of my favorite, and I have it starred, is I am worthy of my own self-acceptance. And that is shifting us into the next chakra when Marcus is ready.
Are you going to do the sound?
Oh, and the sound. Just kidding.
I got you.
What is the frequency again for that one? I have...
Let's see. It is 528.
8. Yes. I had it pulled up a minute ago all prepared. Willow crawled in front of the camera again, so I had to put her in the other room. She wasn't really involved. Okay, so we're going to play 528.
Wow, that trail on it.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome in, Kaya and Fifi on Instagram. Thank you for the hearts and love. We are doing a full chakra reattunement throughout this session tonight. Welcome in, everybody. And also, don't forget, guys, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will definitely get to them. If you guys are on the YouTube side, your comments also can be pulled up onto the screen. So if you have anything that you want to put out there to the collective, you can have those put up on the screen as well. So feel free to voice yourself. So we will move on to the next chakra. Well, actually, before that, we will pull up some solar plexus crystals for you guys. And we have fire opal, yellow jasper, brucite, tiger's eye. So tiger's eye, some of these crystals, you guys will notice that they can be used for different chakras. So gold obsidian, citrine, sunstone, and yellow sapphire. So we will now make our way up to the center of the 7 chakras. Number 4, the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is in the center of the 7 due to it being number 4. So therefore it is the balancing center of our higher polarity and lower polarity, or you can say your heaven and your earth. So it's located in the center of the chest. So it's not really located where the physical heart is on the, the left side under the chest. It's more in the very center bottom of your chest. And then we're not going to be touching on the 12 chakras, but we also have a higher heart chakra, the thymus chakra, and that's located at the top of the chest. That'll have to be another time though. So the mantra is YAM, YAM. Oh, Kaya said, your guys' voices are both soothing. Thank you, Kaya. So the hertz. So on here we have 639 hertz. And then it is the color green. And then it occupies the physical parts of the body, as in the heart, the lungs, the chest, the arms, and the hands. And with that, I'll also add the blood as well, due to it being connected with the heart stream. And it connects you to the, the main bloodstream of your arms and then your hands and everything like that as well. And then it connects you with the traits of unconditional love. Unconditional love is that 100% fluid feeling of love where, God, how do you describe it? It's like you feel so light that you're just, you can be present and you can feel that it's safe to be present and that you're divinely blessed. We have free will and mercy and grace, and it's all a temporary experience. That type of unconditional love just permeating through you is a beaming heart chakra. And you feel that connection as it then unfolds into the next trait, compassion. And with that compassion, you're able to feel that as all life forms around you is the same connection and same one consciousness. And then with that, you're able to develop what we call empathy. Through that awareness and having empathy, you're able to then take on that energy from others, knowing that it's all one consciousness, and that you're also capable of being an alchemist. You're able to transmute that energy into another life form. And then you're also able to tap into the ability of forgiveness, which is really letting go, the ability to let go of attachments, to let go of experiences. And then it's also where we access gratitude. We develop gratitude because we have that sense of the polarities, but the connection of the polarities being one. So therefore, we have gratitude. We have gratitude for the light and the dark that we go through. And then lastly, we have balanced emotions. So again, with it being the center, the fourth chakra, it is the balance of your lower emotions, your lower three chakras, as well as your higher emotions, your upper three chakras. So this is why, we have phrases that we may not be consciously aware of, but they're subliminal, such as return to center or bring it back to your center, or, prayer, the prayer pose. Take our hands together, which is our left and our right polarities, bring them to the center to balance and touch with each other. Then we bring it to the heart because the heart is the middle of all of your emotions. And you're bringing all of your emotions to the center of your heart chakra into balance. So, overactivations, being a caregiver or putting others first. Now, of course, there's healthy caregiving, but then there's overactive caregiving where you're just completely destroying yourself and you're throwing all of your passions in the trash and you're not doing anything that you love, all for the sake of another that isn't doing that for their self or even trying to or wanting to. So then poor boundaries on where we place our love. Kind of similar with that. And just kind of like with the sacral, we could give our heart center love so much to places that abuse us or mistreat that energy. And then empathically absorbing energies. So it's kind of like where we can be so overactive that we kind of act blind to the places that we're putting ourselves or the energies that we're absorbing around us because we're choosing not to really be grounded and realize that we may be attracting things that aren't the best for us. So then we have blockages. This could be feeling separate or feeling alone, rejecting love and fearing intimacy, having poor blood pressure, lung and heart conditions, holding on to grudges, trust issues, and then a lack of sympathy and sympathizing. And then we have foods and herbs, leafy greens, broccoli, cauliflower, and celery, basil, thyme, cilantro, and sage, hibiscus, jasmine, rose, and moringa. And I'll also add that you can throw in there cacao and yeah, cacao for sure. Anything you would like to add for the heart chakra?
Yes, while you're talking, I was thinking about how you were connecting our lower chakras to our upper chakras. And I always thought of it as like a bridge connecting the two. So I really resonated with that. Connect
Yeah.
our physical to our spiritual.
Yep.
Yeah. I also wanted to talk about the archetypes for the heart chakra. So if we're in our negative archetype, that would be the actor or actress. And this archetype can be incapable of real intimacy because it resists feeling its fears and negativity to loving and being loved by another. So, this can also mean that we're being inauthentic, using charm, or treating it as a mental game instead of a function of the heart. And shifting from that energy and into the positive archetype is the lover. So, opening to this lover archetype within ourselves means that we first and foremost love ourselves. And for me, that was one of my hardest parts in shifting. My heart chakra was analyzing that about myself. And you had mentioned forgiveness before, too. And being able to forgive myself was one of the hardest parts for me. And it had to come through meditation one day when I was really feeling at one. And I realized that that was my next step at that moment, was forgiving myself, and then being able to embody that lover archetype where my heart is open to not only those around me but also to myself. In
Mm.
all things.
Wow.
And wanted to give you the affirmation too. My favorite affirmation for this is, I am at one with all life. And I'll play you the tuning fork for the heart, and we have 639 hertz.
Mhm. Wow, it's been an excellent way to teach this online. Been a I'm really feeling these frequencies today. I don't know about you.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, everybody on the Instagram side is feeling it very well. They're really grateful. They're giving their thanks and their love. All right. So we'll move over into heart chakra crystals that you guys can use in your everyday life. We have adventurine, rose quartz, jade, rhodochrosite, moldavite. Oh, I love some of these stones. aquamarine, emerald, and malachite. Such a great list. Like, I love moldavite, emerald, rose quartz are always a classic. You can get like the jade and rose quartz, guatzas for everybody out there. Those are the rollers, and you can also get like the blades made out of these stones. And then you get the healing properties plus the physical properties that you receive using it on your skin. Mhm. All right, we'll make our way up to the throat chakra. Good old throat chakra. And the throat chakra is located at none other than the throat. Or you can say the neck area as well. Thank you, sunshine. Great energy. Sesily.
Thank you.
The mantra for the throat chakra is Ham, Ham. I swear it's not ham, everybody. I mean, you could say ham if you want. But yeah, HAM, Ham. And the Hertz frequency is 741. Color, we got the blue. Blue flame. You know the blue flame, Archangel Michael, he represents truth, justice. So, you think about the throat chakra, that's speaking your truth. It's expressing your justice. Justice as in your balance. Expressing your authenticity. So then we have physical connection. Your thyroid, your mouth, your jaw, your shoulders, and your neck. So you guys will notice that these chakras or energy centers, what they're connected with is basically the parts of the body that are most closest to that energy center. And the reason so is I'm about to get super matrixy and extra dimensional on you guys for a moment. So like, we have a multi-dimensional avatar, and this avatar is assimilated by multiple layers of aura layers or subtle energy layers inside of our aura, which is our whole entire energy field. And then within these layers, there's different dimensions of our being that make up the whole entire human being, not just the physical body. Physical body is your most dense body, the most lowest rate of speed, the most dense and slowest vibrational body of all the bodies that we have within our aura that make up who we are. So with that being said, there is parallels, there's connections with all these layers. So we have a mental body, emotional body, a energy body, a physical body, and they're all corresponding with each other at the same time, and they're all affecting each other at the same time. And it's constantly happening in every moment, and it's in motion. Right now it is too. So like your energy body is interacting with your mental, emotional, and physical body right now in this moment. And then it's also interacting with your astral body. And then it's interacting with your higher self and your oversoul. So there's like all these different interactions going on, corresponding as a multidimensional being. And the chakras, they are these energy centers that create vortexes. And these vortexes go through your physical body. So we may tend to think that physicality is stronger than energy, but energy is kind of technically, if you want to say stronger, it's stronger than physicality because it's a lighter vibration of light. So it's able to move through physicality due to the lightness of its vibration. And with that being said, these energy centers creating these octaves of energy due to the frequency that they're at, they go through the physical body and then they materialize due to the rate of speed of the energy and then turns into a form. And those forms are crystallized forms with crystalline DNA, which is why there's these crystalline chemicals in our body. And every organ actually has its own magnetic field. And then, our whole body has a magnetic field because it's all crystalline. But yeah, whew, pack that for you guys real quick. Man. Um, so yeah, with that being said, you guys will notice that these centers, due to that, they materialize and they connect with these different parts of ourselves in those locations. It's some deep stuff. It really is. But moving forward, we have the traits of expressing our emotions and voicing our inner truth. This is where we put forth our creative energy into masculine energy, so to say. And what that just means is, masculine in its kind of like organic state, which is your ability to put out and put forward your creative energy and express it. So it's almost like a partnership with your sacral in a way. I like to think of the sacral and the throat like a partnership where, the sacral is more like your feminine traits where you're inwardly cultivating and harnessing your energy and you're working it up to be expressed and to use it to co-create in the world. And then you raise it up your chakras to the throat center where you then turn it into masculine energy, which is where you co-create. It's where you act, it's where you express and put your creativity into the world. So it is also your discernment center. So it's your ability to discern information and energy that comes into your field. So, if you're blocked up in that chakra, you're gonna have a tough time discerning the energy and information that is filtering through you. And then that could lead you into places where you create karmic lessons that you necessarily may not have wanted to create. So then we have, it is also the center of integrity. So, like knowing when to hold truth within you, not speak on something, or when to allow someone to go through their own experience. Translate dreams into form. So kind of like how it's where we are able to express the sacral into the world through our creative expression. It's also the same from like the heavenly energy. So it's also, we draw in downloads to the crown. We then start to perceive it and we start to mentally concept through our third eye chakra and project it as well. And then through the throat, we then are able to voice those dreams, vocalize it, create with it. So overactivations, we have speaking over others, spilling out unmindfully, no care to listen, dominating others' beliefs. So this is like, you want to think of like dictator type of energy, like that's heavily overactive throat chakra. People that want to constantly like cut you off and like talk over you, things of that nature. Blocks and chakra, hard time retaining or receiving info, cutting short receiving validation on one's own abilities. I see this one a lot, actually. I used to do this a lot. I used to have a tough time with receiving compliments or just like accepting that I had gifts or like that I did good things for people. Um, that subtly can block you in the throat chakra a little bit because it's like a subtle rejection of your own self. And then we have fear of expressing our truth or experiences. So a lot of suppression energy and rejection can result into blockages like this. And this can trickle from lifetime to lifetime. They call this kind of like, the witch wounds and like other wounds like that, where people have been suppressed and maybe even their lives taken for wanting to speak their truth. Now we have thyroid, mouth, and ear issues. Foods and herbs: grapes, berries, eggplant, kale, plums, slippery elm, chamomile, eucalyptus, peppermint, clary sage, and rosemary. And over to you.
Hello. I really struggled with this chakra as well, and being in the negative mentality for it and identifying as the silent child archetype. And the silent child is going to be someone who is fearful of expressing themselves and expressing their truth, having difficulty in being honest with themselves about that truth at some points, and also being fearful of the judgment they may receive for being that authentic version of themselves and sharing their truth. And you could also identify with this if you struggle with feeling heard and trying to express yourself and no one understands or is receptive to you communicating that. So, shifting into the positive archetype, we are wanting to then be in control of how we respond to our external influences and allowing ourselves to stand in that authenticity of our truth in expressing ourselves. And this would move us into a more truth telling archetype or a communicator. And this is someone who can be articulate and creative and not only have that creativity that they've built up, but like Marcus said, then now expressing it and being open to expressing this with others openly and honestly and in a constructive way. So having the ability to create connections through their words. And when we're being a truth teller and living our authentic expression, it allows us to be transparent and speak our truths with clarity and integrity. Oh, I wanted to read the affirmation for you. What I have to say is valuable to others. We have the 741 hertz.
Very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So there's something else I wanted to add as well with the throat chakra that I guess my spirit feels important to say, and that is with discernment. And discernment also isn't just from the outside coming in, but discernment's also from the inside out, as in, being able to really process with yourself, is this gonna be a hurtful thing to say, or is this something that could cause further issues? Is this something that is probably maybe egotistical to say? Like that kind of discernment as well is the result from a healthy heart or throat chakra. So we have crystals, sodalite, lapis lazuli, chrysocolla, turquoise, labradorite, blue kyanite, angelite, and blue apatite. Refresh. All right, we'll make our way into the third eye chakra. Third eye chakra, it is located between the brows. So when we say located between the brows, we're saying like right directly in between those eyebrows. Not exactly like the top of the forehead, but right in between those eyebrows is where the direct focal point of the energy center is. But of course, it expands out a little bit and it covers, a little bit bigger surface area. And then the mantra is Om. So AUM. It's similar to Om, but it's AUM. Traits 852 hertz. The color is indigo. And then it is the pituitary and the pineal glands, as well as the forehead, the eyes, the nose, and the brain. And with that being said, it is the governor of the circadian rhythm and our biological cycles or biological clocks, our hormone and chemical regulation, direct access to our psychic senses, as well as our intuitive guidance, divine wisdom and insight. So it's your ability to kind of like be able to see through the veil, as well as be able to really have a deeper sense of your experiences and what you're seeing, and not getting caught up on the surface, not getting caught up on the problems, but being able to see that your challenges and the things that you go through are ultimately for you and with you and giving you wisdom. So then it is also one of our main centers of astral travel and lucid states. There's also other centers that you can travel through. And then we have manifesting center and our projections or projector. So it's where we perceive and project our reality. With that being said, overactivations, you have a ungrounded mind, So this is when we're scattered, constantly everywhere. Mental manipulation upon others. So when we're trying to mentally manipulate others. Psychic attacks. So being overactive in the third eye can result into psychic attacks. Being over analytical and being psychosis-like. So psychosis-like is because sometimes if we're overactive in the third eye, we can mentally be in another dimension and ungrounded and unbalanced with our human life or our physical dimension. And then it can put us in a state where it seems like we're in like a psychosis kind of, because we're not mentally in our body. Blocks, head pressure, insomnia, nightmares, confusion on your life path, mind control, hard to see the solutions, limited thought beliefs, and then cognitive distortions. Cognitive distortions, commonly known in psychology, is when our experiences of the past or experiences of some type of programming is basically distorting our present reality of the truth and the real intentions of what's going on. And this is a pretty common thing in, like unhealed childhood trauma, unhealed relationship patterns. We can notice that we could carry, and we could all be subject to this, including myself. We could all carry memories, attachments, traumas that can mentally pattern and distort our present and current relationships that we have. And it's a very it's it's a near tragic thing, honestly, to experience, especially if, you know, you nearly dearly love somebody and they're dealing with a lot of distortions surrounding you, your intentions, the love that you're giving. It can be very heartbreaking, like truly, and vice versa. Like that struggle of, wanting to express love to somebody or wanting to show that you love them, but you have so many distortions that you unconsciously can't help it. It's a deep thing, and oof, it's where the heart chakra comes in pretty big. Um, foods and herbs, you have red onion, cabbage, raisins, avoiding fluoride, mushroom superfoods, cacao, and you have rosemary, juniper, mugwort, valerian, and kava. And then I'll also add into there lavender as well. Over to you.
All right. So, looking at the negative archetype for our third eye chakra, which can also be known as the brow chakra, is the intellectual archetype. So, when imbalanced, you can become overly analytical and detached from your emotions and disconnected from spiritual wisdom, relying on logic alone and dismissing intuitive or emotional knowledge. When we are living this way, we are too much in our left brain, reliant on plans, maps, and future outcomes. So, always focused on the future and not in that present moment. So, having a philosophy based on value of personal experience, so your personal experience and your inner knowing, gives healthy and grounded ways of responding to life. So focusing on that for yourself can help with the shifting of that archetype into a more positive light. So we would see if we are in the positive mindset and mentality, we would see an archetype of a more intuitive. So focusing on that visionary mindset and channeling deep intuitive wisdom, seeing beyond, connecting with higher truths. So as you're able to do this and connect with those higher truths, you're still able to then express them and have a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. So if we're looking at the affirmation for this, we would want to say, I open my imagination to create the best of all possible worlds for myself. And we have our frequency of 852 hertz.
You know, one thing I really love about activating the chakras is that it gets your chemicals going, it gets your glands releasing. So it's almost like a wake up, it kind of gives me like a caffeine boost in a way sometimes. Do you ever get that from your chakras activating?
Yes. I realized waking up in the morning, and if I would play like a chakra meditation just to get my day started, it would boost my energy naturally that way.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I started doing one every single day before I got out of bed. So some third eye chakra crystals. We have terahertz. Terahertz is really great for psychic protection. So if you're someone that needs astral protection or just like, psychic protection because you're someone that's working your light and there's some shadows out there that are not happy with it and they don't want to own up to their own shadows. Sometimes you get psychic attacks. Sometimes you get, energies that you don't really want in your space. And that's just the reality of this duality that we're in. So we have stones like terahertz that give you psychic protection energetically. Amethyst, which also protects you in that type of way as well, but also helps you with manifesting and transmuting energy. You have azurite, lepidolite, sugarlight, indigo kyanite, iolite, and moonstone. And then we'll make our way to the final of the 7 chakras. Thank you guys all for being here with us and exploring the chakras with us. We have the crown chakra, and it's located at the top of the head. And the mantra is the good old Om. So, we call this the universal mantra. And the reason why is because the crown chakra connects you to your universal connection. And the traits, 963 hertz. And then it is the color violet. You can also get a little bit of white in there as well. And then it is the synergy of your physical and mental energies. So oftentimes we may associate the mind with the brain, but the mind is far expansive as a dimension than the brain. The mind is capable of being in very many different places quantumly at once and traveling to different time space. So it's definitely a little bit more exceeding than the physical brain. But the crown, with it being at the top of the head, it's like the lid that allows your higher light or higher divine energy to be able to connect and stream or download into your physical avatar. So the more healthier and more active that crown is in its rotation, the more it's able to magnetize and draw in divine light more fluid and frequently. And that divine light is what gives us life and the ability to function. So it is the streamline to the spirit realm, portal for receiving download codes, which is why oftentimes you guys may feel, a lot of energy at the crown, or you may feel white light kind of stream down when you have your eyes closed, coming down from your crown. This is also where we have a higher sense of unity peace. So when this connection is clear and established, we have that natural higher sense of being guided and having a spiritual presence around us always. When we're overactive, we can develop spiritual ego highs. So this is when we basically use spirituality as a way to be better than others or put down others or to judge others. Spiritual bypassing. This is where we can be so far in our light that we neglect our shadows or we demonize our shadows, or we could also be so far in our light that we take no action in our life and we just allow life to bypass. We don't be accountable. We don't put action into our life. And then we wonder why, say we never make any money or we never make a way into the dreams that we want to have because we don't take action. Because, quote unquote, we just say that we're one. And due to everything being one, we just don't have to do anything. Well, part of the third dimension is we take action and accountability. So then being polarized into light, neglecting the shadows, kind of like what we just touched on. And then being overly stimulated with energy and download rates. So when it's overactive, you can tend to have a little bit of a overstimulation in the downloads that you're getting. Blockages, low physical function, confusion, lack of connection with your source or higher self. Foods and herbs, quinoa, purple rice, grapes, coconut, eggplant, purple kale, dragon fruit, raw honey, cloves, garlic, and then I'll also add in there water, because water is vital to replenishing your crown chakra, and it helps you allow the light to flow through you and be able to stream a lot better. So proper hydration for sure. And then for our final chakra, over to you.
All right, looking at the crown chakra, for the negative archetype, we would see more of an egotist. So this would represent an inflated sense of self, disconnected from spiritual truths, maybe driven by the ego seeking personal glory or recognition rather than connecting to the divine or the greater whole. This negative archetype would have a false authority or a sense of a false authority, being more overly controlling or manipulative, and using spiritual teachings for personal gain or power in a negative way. And we would see that, again, this would often focus activity centered in the left brain, the conscious rational mind, and they would be very entrenched in the material world, having a vision of life which is more mechanical to the extreme. And in order for us to try to shift our mindset and shift our archetype for the crown chakra, we would want to shift into the guru. So as we move into the guru archetype, the realm of possibilities then expands to the infinite, as we are now able to tap into the joy and bliss of our spirit. And here we are one with the source, and we are whole and complete. So like Marcus was saying, that connection to be able to receive those downloads and then implement. The awareness and energy this state of being brings is always high, clear, and beautiful, with no separation with this archetype between self and life itself. So everyone and everything is then linked in oneness, which resonates with a continuous flow of universal love and consciousness. So being in this, you have truly then mastered yourself, and representing this energy causes illusions to be shattered by being in that authentic vibration. And for our affirmation, I live in the realm of cosmic consciousness. I live in the realm of cosmic consciousness. We have 963 hertz.
And with that, we have now gone through all 7 of the chakras with you guys. And we went through a in-depth education of each of the 7, starting from the root all the way up to the crown. Along with that, Sesily also gave us the blessing of a tuning fork and singing bowl for each of the 7 chakras as we went. You guys can watch this replay on YouTube or Instagram anytime. SaCrEd LiGhT 33 on Instagram, SaCrEd LiGhT Healing and Wellness on YouTube. And you guys can pause, rewind, take notes as much as you would like anytime. And as we close out, I will go ahead and allow Sesily to decide if she would like to play a short sound bath. If not, completely up to you.
Yes, I can play just for a little bit. I'll run through our chakras and do an alignment for us before we go.
Let's get cozy, everybody. Mm. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I feel so like just rinsed right now after this session today. It felt like it was something we did all day. Wow. Wow. I'm just so grateful right now. How are you feeling over there?
Great.
Mm.
Very calm.
How's everybody in the comments feeling right now that's still here? Feel free to put how you feel in the comments. Um, with that being said, as we close out, Sesily, would you like to let everybody know where they can contact you and book services with you?
Yes, I am most active on Facebook. You can find me at Magical Willow, and you can also find me on Instagram. And through my websites there, you can then book services with me, and I will usually have events posted that you will see on my page actively. Thank you.
Awesome. And as we close out as well, do you have any um, like workshops, courses, anything coming up that people can be a part of?
I am hosting a new moon creative expression sound journey next week. And I also have an event with Marcus coming up, the astrology retreat
Yeah,
for to
right.
those.
Yeah, you guys can catch us here in Ohio, um, Miamisburg by Dayton on February 28th and March 1st for a new moon astrology retreat. And Cecily will be doing some new moon sound journeying. And then I will be doing a crystal healing workshop. And there'll be some other workshops going on. We'll be providing the food for you guys, plant-based, vegetarian. And then along with that, it'll be overnight. So staying in the studio, having community connection, and just going through beautiful holistic healing, just like very similar to tonight. Um, you can think of the workshops as a very similar structure to how this live went tonight, but you're in person, you get to connect, and you get to also do one-on-one with us in between during the free spaces. So it's a very powerful space, and there's so much that you can take from it. And if you guys have any questions, just reach out. You guys can register and you can get your tickets today. And there's a lot of plenty of other things that we both offer. So just give us a follow, give us a like if you can. Appreciate the support. And reach out if you have questions. We're here to support. Oh, our sister Kaya on Instagram said, "What an absolute sweetheart. Such powerful sonics." Thank you.
So kind.
Thank you so much, sister, and much love to you. And Cecily, you have a beautiful night after this. Thank you so much for your time and energy, and I appreciate you.
You too. It was nice being with all of you all tonight.
All right, everybody. Wholeness and balanced love. Have a blessed night.